It's a review of They Live, John Carpenter's They Live from 1988. So he obviously was a pro wrestler from 1973 to 1987 in the NWA? The band?
Yeah, no, not the band. National Wrestling Association.
Oh, yeah. It's like, it's never been in movies before. Like, okay, well, what about this one? This was years before. We don't even need to hide it. You don't need glasses anymore. They'll tell it to your face, and there's going to be a percentage of people
who believe it.
No matter what you say against it
no
or prove them
what.
facts. You look like your face fell in cheese dip back in 1957. What's up, guys, and welcome back to Beyond the Void
Horror Podcast.
That's right. It's episode 366, and we are doing community choice number 2 of They Live. It's a review of They Live, John Carpenter's They Live from 1988. You can stream it on Apple TV, rent it for $3.99, or own it on 4K like we do. That's right. So we're going to be talking about that today, and we also have a giveaway to give away today, guys, so you're going to want to stay tuned and hear about this because we got a bunch of movies that we're going to be giving away. One that's coming out very, very, very soon. Mm-hmm. So, but Christina, how are you doing today? What's going on?
I heard, some good news. I don't know if you've heard yet or not, but you know Mike Flanagan? Who did? He's working on a new series. Do you know what it is? You have no idea, really? Oh, my God.
Wait, I think I heard this, actually. Is it the Salem's Lot?
No, because they remade that as a movie, right? No, he's working on, for a TV series, he's working on The Dark Tower.
Nice.
Really
for Amazon. That's right.
Right.
There was talk about that because he switched over to Amazon.
Right. So I guess he is officially doing it now.
They got a lot more money. That's why.
And this is one of your favorite books, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's not one of my favorite books. It's
you just like it.
It's one that I think it would be perfectly adapted into a movie if they just follow the story.
But what about a TV show?
That's what I mean.
Would it be better?
Yeah, of course. It would be way better because you could be more descriptive and you wouldn't have to rush it like they did with the other one. Mm-hmm. You could just do the show how it's supposed to be. TV shows are definitely where it's at with Stephen King books.
Right.
Unless it's like a short story, don't do it. I mean, if you know how to do it. Anyway.
Or make it into a TV movie so we can bitch about it later on.
So yeah, I'm definitely excited to see a Dark Tower, and I hope they stick to the gunslinger and all that other stuff. The other one, the movie, do you remember the movie?
I do.
It was terrible.
Yeah, it was kind of boring.
I wanted to like it, but they made it so kid-like.
And there were such good actors in that one, too.
Yeah, there really was. It was I was okay with the lead and everything like that. It was the story.
Do you think they're trying to make it like a Harry Potter or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
And they should have just stuck to the fucking book because it did feel like a kid's thing.
Right, but isn't the book, because isn't it like a 3-part series? The Dark Tower?
I think it goes up to 5 for 6 books, actually. So there's a lot of, yeah.
Oh, in between and stuff?
Yeah, and the books get thicker as they go on.
So it'll probably be a good for TV then, rather than a movie.
I would love to see it as a TV show, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, well, you're gonna.
Plus, we got Fallout coming too. So
you know what else we got coming?
What?
We got the. Oh my God, it doesn't work.
Is it on?
Oh no!
Jesus. What?
We got the Killer Clown video game. It's set to release June 4th on Xbox, PlayStation, and Steam.
So we're gonna have to get that.
Yeah.
Maybe I can get some of the guys at Beyond the Splattered Graves to play with me.
Oh, that'd be good.
Definitely Jason from Sinister Cinema Reviews will probably play for sure. Because he's into that stuff. Mm-hmm. We played a lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre. But yeah, that game looks pretty fun. It's another asymmetrical,
world.
Horror game. They call them asymmetrical survival or horror games.
Oh,
because there's 3 bad guys and 5 good guys, and you got to fight against to balance the the killers, you know, so to speak. But they're like running around, like shooting people with cotton candy guns like that, or popcorn guns, or, you know, they do this, like, one of them grows to like ginormous size and stomps on people. There's a bunch of different stuff. It looks pretty fun.
Yeah, that looks fun. What have you been up to, though?
Oh, I have just been pounding the Parasite Maxim series, the anime.
Oh,
because the Parasite is coming out on Netflix. It's called Parasite the Gray, which is a story about a parasite that gets inside a human body and manipulates their body to be a host, and they take over the human brain and stuff like that. But there's an anime and a manga and everything like that have done this before, and I'm rewatching the series so that we can watch the Gray and compare.
Oh.
Because it's not connected, at least not, you know, it's not connected technically. It's like two separate stories. I just wanted to kind of get the gist of which one was better.
Oh.
So, but yeah, I'm going to be doing a review on that soon on the YouTube channel. So you'll want to look out for that. It's going to be, you know, I can't talk about the whole movie or the whole series.
Right. That's too much.
I'm on like episode 9 or 17 or 18 right now. And they're all like 23-minute long, you know, episodes.
Oh.
Really graphic stuff, man. Like it's just like people getting sliced in half and like stabbed and killed, and it's wild. That, and I've been falling asleep a lot trying to stay awake. That's been fun.
What reviews did you put out last week? You put
not
out
many.
Bounty Hunter. Is that what it was called?
Yeah, the Bounty Hunter trilogy. Which, if you guys haven't looked at that, please give that a watch, because that's a series that people really should watch. If you've ever heard of the Lone Wolf and Cub, it's like a Japanese series. It was a manga that was turned into a bunch of fucking movies. You might have heard of a movie called Shogun Assassin, which took the first 2 of the like 6 movies and like crammed it into one big movie. And it has this amazing intro about my father was a samurai. And it's like, it talks about how his family died and all this. Well, this is the precursor to the Lone Wolf and Cub. And it was a whole lot. I really enjoy it. Plus, I've been doing them on the YouTube channel because I know it's going to take a little bit of time to get some people in, you know, because like we do mostly horror, but I really feel like some of these bloody shows and stuff like this, like samurai martial arts, you know, stuff like that. I feel like you could find some people in the horror community that would also like
that
it.
Too.
Yeah,
appreciate it.
Right, because most of the friends that I have who are horror fans love that stuff too.
Right.
So it's like they're the ones that actually continue to watch everything like that. So, but yeah, it was a lot of fun watching him. It was 3 movies though, so it was pretty heavy, you know.
Right.
I had to take some time to like really sit down and watch him. But
well, your birthday's coming up.
That's right.
Next week.
Big 32. Big
32 times 5.
No, that is not. Yeah, I would be dead. Anyway, yeah. So my birthday's on the 7th. We'll be celebrating it on the podcast and on the video here. And maybe even that night, I might do some streaming with one of the guys. We're still kind of up in the air on whether or not we're going to do that or not. But I hope so. I hope we get to hang out. That would be cool. There was the Civil War's coming out.
Yep.
So some of the guys decided that they were going to go see that because they got passes to see it for free.
Hell yeah.
And yeah,
I'm excited to see that.
I really want to see it too. I heard that movie is going to be like very different than what people think it is.
I'm sure. I hope so.
That it's more topical and more about like what happens when you get rid of like or manipulate journalism.
Systems and stuff, yeah.
It's more about journalism.
Journalisms.
Yeah.
Journalists, the writers, the reporters.
Yeah, it's something like that. It has nothing to do with how it happened. It's more about the after fact. So it's not like picking a side or something like that politically. But speaking of which, by the way, today, guys, like speaking of movies that are kind of politically charged, They Live is going to be next to impossible to talk about without the politicalness of it. And if you don't realize that there is a political nature in most horror films, many of your favorite horror films are literally doused and politically charged. and have been since the beginning of time. It's an allegory or, metaphor for a lot of different things. And John Carpenter, of all of them, has been pretty vocal about those kind of things.
Right.
And They Live is a very on-the-nose version of that. Other movies that he's done are like The Hills Have Eyes, which is about the nuclear family, which is like that whole 50s is perfect thing, him kind of going against that. This one's sort of about capitalism and also about like the elites and stuff like that. And other movies he's done, like The People Under the Stairs, which is about gentrification and like ghettos and things like that, and like, how people live and stuff like that. So he's definitely no stranger to the political space. You know what I mean? So it's going to be interesting. But if that stuff bothers you, yeah, you're going to you might want to check out Romance or something like that. I'm sure there's probably politics in that too. Maybe there's like a video of somebody making love to a Trump doll or something.
Anyway, but they might enjoy some of these movies we're going to be giving away.
Oh, that's right. We have a giveaway that we're going to be doing in lieu of, for my birthday. So I'm giving to you on my birthday. And some of the people that decided to help us out is MVD Entertainment and Unearthed Films. So thank you guys for supporting this podcast and this video and my channel and everything. Both of them have been spectacular. I've talked to both of them back and forth a lot, and they've been very, very, very cool. So what they did is they donated The Abandoned, which is a movie that came out in the 2000s that was part of the 8 Films to Die For. Is it 8 films?
Yeah.
Yeah, 8 Films to Die For, which was like this thing that they used to do in the theaters every year. And The Abandoned was one of these movies that it's coming out April 9th on Blu-ray. And so if you guys have not seen this and you want to pick it up, it's going to be out. You can pre-order it now from Unearth, MVD, Diabolic DVD, all the regular places I usually post in the links in the comments, everything. I'll put it all down there for you. But you could also win a copy if you sign up for our VIP club, which we have already for some people who watch the show or listen to the show for many years now. And all you have to do is sign up for that. Also go to the Instagram and Twitter of MVD Entertainment and Unearthed Films, and follow both of their accounts, including ours if you're not already. So follow all 3 of us and then sign up for the VIP club, and we'll send out an email. It's just an emailer that says that we have a podcast out and what 2 movies we've reviewed on the YouTube channel or whatever 2 videos we have. That's it. And that's all you have to do.
We will be announcing the winner on episode 368.
Yeah, you got to be very clear.
Yes, 368, we will be announcing the winner, but you need to join the VIP club before
April 12th.
Yes, April 12th is the deadline.
Yeah, so April 12th, you're going to want to make sure you have the VIP club and following them on Instagram and Twitter or X, whatever you want to call it. I just can't call it X. It just doesn't make any sense to me. Nobody's going to know what the fuck I'm talking about.
And then listen, we will announce the winner on the episode 368.
But to sweeten the deal, not only are we giving away a copy of The Abandoned, but we're also giving another copy. Stephen Biro gave me this copy of Unearthed Films to review, and I'd already had a copy that he didn't know about. So I'm going to give it away to you guys. The Sound of Summer, which is a indie Japanese film by either a Canadian, British, or American guy who moved to Japan and made a really sort of fleshy, like body horror movie about cicadas and weird shit. It's really weird. It's about a cicada man that follows these girls around, and it gets really fucking violent and weird. But anyway, we're giving that away. It's 2 Blu-rays right there for you. We got a copy of Beetlejuice on 4K. These are unopened, by the way. And then we do have an open copy. But this one is The Quiet Earth, which is a thriller movie about a guy who wakes up one day and realizes that nobody in the world exists except for the people who are in between life and death. So anybody that died, is their body's still there, but everybody else's bodies are gone.
Oh.
So he's like the last man on Earth, and he kind of goes around and is losing his mind, and some crazy stuff happens. It's a science fiction thriller. Obviously, you guys know what Beetlejuice is all about. The Cicada Man movie, which is The Sound of Summer, and then The Abandoned, which says Marie, a woman that was adopted as a child, returns to her homeland and the isolated abandoned family farm that she never knew. There, she meets a mysterious man, Nikolai, and learns of a nightmarish secret that begins a spiral into darkness. So, yeah. This is a very underrated film, I've heard from a lot of people. A lot of people reached out since I posted this online yesterday. So I'm looking forward to reviewing it. I will be doing a review of it, too, so in the future. So, but yeah. Sign up and everything on the VIP club. We'll put all the links down below. Just sign up for that by the 12th of April. And then we'll announce our winner on the...
Episode 368.
Yep, which will be the 14th. Thank you, MVD and Earth. You guys rock. Thank you so much. But, Christina, what's going on? What else do we have? Do we have anything else?
We got some horror shots.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, I think it might be time.
What time is it?
Horror shots! All right, guys, so obviously we watched the movie They Live from 1988, right?
Right.
Make sure I'm saying that right.
I know, I keep wanting to call the film The Thing. Like, why? I don't know.
A lot of the same people are in it. A lot of people that made the movie.
Well, yeah, but...
technically, you know who was supposed to star in it?
Who?
One of the people in The Thing. Yeah.
Oh.
But I'll explain that later. But anyway, so in They Live... Obviously, you kind of know the story. It's about people, they put on a pair of glasses and they start seeing the world for what it really is, and that there's aliens of some sort. And it's a crazy film.
Yep, you discover the truth. You enter the Matrix.
Yeah. So by putting on these glasses, we figured it's kind of like you're it's more than meets the eye. Like what you're actually seeing is there's more to it.
Do you wear your sunglasses at night?
Yeah, I wear my sunglasses at night.
Well, you don't have to sing it. I think people know.
Well, there's two songs that do that. Anyway, so we decided we were going to make a bubblegum shot.
Ran out of time.
We ran out of time. So this is just a kick-ass shot. And what we did is it's more than meets the eye because...
More than meets the eye.
We put another shot in a Bahama Mama of...
Was it pineapple mango?
Yes. Pineapple Svedka, pineapple mango. So we spiked it.
Ready?
This is sort of like we got to say to Buck Flower.
Oh, to Buck Flower.
Yeah, who's in the film.
Okay.
So.
Yep, that's good.
Holy shit, is that good?
Yeah, that's really good.
Oh my, is there more?
Nope, that's it.
So we got them pre-mixed wine Bahama Mamas. It's like frozen. And then we just cut open the top and poured this sucker in. And holy shit, man.
It's strong.
Is it strong?
Yeah.
You can taste it?
Yeah, I can taste it. Can't you taste it?
Not at all.
It was dangerous. Dangerous.
You know what it is? Mango.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Mango we found.
The flavor.
Because remember when we would do our juice? What is it? The jungle juice?
Uh-huh.
Always covers the flavor for you guys out there. If you guys would like to try a kick-ass, all you have to do is go to longlivethevoid.com and check out our hashtag horror shots section now. That's it for horror shots. Jesus Christ. All right, guys. So now we're going to get into our flesh and potatoes of They Live, which was donated to us by Resolution 67 on 4K. Thank you. And we're going to go ahead and do that right now.
November 4th, 1988. They influence our decisions without us knowing it. They numb our senses without us feeling it. They control our lives without us realizing it. They live. I don't know. That was the...
That was very uneventful. Can I try that?
Hold on.
Oh, because you
They
have the
influence
thing.
our decisions without us knowing it. They numb our senses without us feeling it. They control our lives without us realizing it. They live.
So that doesn't really sound like a synopsis,
Right.
but that's okay. It sounds more of like a tagline, but that's literally the synopsis in IMDb.
Is it really? Okay.
Uh-huh.
Do you want to do taglines?
Yeah, taglines. I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, and I'm all out of bubblegum.
We were all out of bubblegum too because we couldn't put it in our shots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Other tagline is obey or else. Alien invasion of the subliminal kind.
Wow. We're doing good today.
There you go.
So this was, of course, written and directed by John Carpenter.
Sorry.
John Carpenter was obviously the one that did Halloween. You might have heard of that movie.
What movie's that? I thought
The
that was
Fog, Escape from New York, The Thing, many more. This is based on a short story called 8 O'Clock in the Morning, written by Ray Nelson. It's a science fiction author and a cartoonist. He was the inventor of the propeller beanie, which is the little kid's hat with the
on the
propeller on
top.
it. That's crazy.
I thought it was weird.
He did that in high school. Mm-hmm. Rowdy Piper. Rowdy Piper.
Roddy Piper. Roddy Piper.
Yeah, Roddy Piper was in this movie playing George. I thought it was John Nada.
Oh, I read George.
Well, his name is Nada in the film, as in nothing. So he obviously was a pro wrestler from 1973 to 1987 in the NWA? The band?
Yeah, no, not the band. National Wrestling Association.
Oh, okay. I'm just kidding. That's where my brain went, though. Anyway, but he was a long time wrestler on WWE. That's what I remember. And was one of the biggest bad guys in the WWF during the early 80s before becoming a fan favorite in the late 80s. Hell Comes to Frogtown was one of the movies we saw him in. And First Encounter from 1997, although I will say this is probably his best. So we also have Keith David, who plays Frank in this movie. He played Childs in The Thing. He was in Armageddon 1998, Nope from 2022, The Chronicles of Riddick. He also does a voice actor of absolutely every animation and video game in the world, just about.
Yes.
He's the voice of Spawn in the animated show, Fallout, American Dad, like pretty much everything, guys.
Everything. It's ridiculous.
Also, we have Crazy Eyes, Meg Foster, who's in this film. She plays Holly. She was in Masters of the Universe, Lords of Salem, 31, Jeepers Creepers 3, Stepfather 2, Make Room for Daddy, and Blind Fury. Sorry.
Blind Fury.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is one of my favorite Rutger Hauer films. We also have George Buck Flower, who's in this movie. One of the most famous homeless bum actors, guys, but he had done so much more. He was just literally in every one of my favorite movies growing up.
As a homeless person.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, he's the homeless guy on the bench when Marty returns from the future, or from the past, I guess I should say. And he's like, what the hell are you doing? You know, like, he stands up and he's just like, oh, hey. Anyway, he's in everything, guys. Like, and he has a pretty meaty role in this, so I'm really happy to see him in this. But he was in Back to the Future, Starman, Village of the Damned, Wishmaster, Tammy and the T-Rex, Waxwork 2, Lost in Time, 976 Evil 2, Puppet Master 2, Maniac Cop, Pumpkinhead, Mac and Me, and so much more.
Lots of them.
We also have Peter Jason, who makes me want to say Peter Jackson every time I see his name. He was in a lot of John Carpenter films as well. He was in one of my favorite movies of In the Mouth of Madness, where he plays the guy trying to rip off the bank he's trying to run a money laundering scheme, where he burned down his thing and kept all the coats.
Oh, okay.
And he has a really great scene in the Mouth of Madness.
We need to watch that.
I love it. We got a copy, actually. He sent us a
4K.
I think a 4K.
Yeah. Watch it.
He was also in Ghost of Mars, 48 Hours, Mortal Kombat, Escape from L.A. This is a budget of about $4 million, and it made about 13 at the opening weekend, and what's 4 million? What's that
opening
mean?
Weekend.
Oh, so it made gross 13 million worldwide?
Yes.
Probably domestically.
Yes.
But it was actually number one at the box office, believe it or not.
That's crazy.
But only for a week.
Oh.
And then it disappeared. But yeah. Christina, what did you think of this film, and how many times have you seen it, etc.? Let us know.
I've seen it before. I haven't seen it in a long time, so it was kind of refreshing. I do like this movie. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a good movie. Is it a comedy? Is it a horror movie? Is it an action movie?
I don't know.
Is it satire?
It's a little bit of everything, isn't it?
It really is. It's like a documentary.
It's an entertaining film.
This could be a documentary nowadays. I'm just saying.
John Carpenter, man.
But I like this film because it's just like a no nonsense. It's not like a complicated story, you know. It's just about this guy who's struggling and who just so happens to discover something and find something. I know I can't. Where am I? He just so happens to find something, and like nobody believes him.
Of course, you have to have that part in there.
Even when he's like presenting, like, you know, the glasses, just put them on, and like people just absolutely refuse because he's just like going nuts. But yeah, nobody believes him.
It's like the kid thing when they always have the kid who always tells them, "There's monsters in the closet," you know.
Right. And then one day,
it started with Invaders from Mars, by the way. But the kid tells the people in that movie, and the military and the school teacher decide to team up to just help the kid.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and like in Monster Squad, I feel like that's a nod to it.
Right.
Because Fred Decker, I'm sure, was a fan of Invaders from Mars. Mm-hmm. At the end of that movie, he's like, "All right, who's the kid who wrote the letter?" And he was like, "I did, sir. They're monsters in my closet." Remember?
Yeah, I remember.
Where are the monsters, kid? We're the Monster Squad.
But anyway, nobody believes him, and so that also results in fighting and conflict and action, which is just so funny.
There's some great lines in this.
Yeah, well, it's a really well told story because it's simple. The acting's okay, but those one-liners in the dialogue like kind of make the movie. It's kind of funny, and they're so like out of place too, and just weird. But this really, nowadays, if you would think if something like this would happen, it would be like this active shooter.
Oh my God!
With the conspiracy theory running around, being all crazy. Like you
couldn't do this,
not like this.
Well,
not like this.
I'll be fair. Conspiracies used to be like fun things that you would talk about, like back in the day. Now people actually have like entire religions built around them. So it's like, okay, well, we can't just have fun anymore, can we?
Yeah, we can't have fun anymore.
We can't just talk about things anymore. We got to develop a religion,
right?
Or you know what I mean?
Win the football game. But anyway, and it's funny too because I kept thinking that Fight Club has elements of this movie in it.
Sure, well, it's all classism.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, which really said anything. But okay, 8 out of 10 is what I gave it.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So she tends to like the ones that don't go too far and try to like over-explain things. She just likes to have a good time.
Yeah, I don't like over-explaining because, you know.
But you do like Hereditary, and that kind of went to great lengths to over-explain some things, didn't it? Or
yeah, it did, but it was told
mystery,
well.
Sort of.
See, it's different because if it's, you know,
two different movies
told,
completely.
Yeah, but it's told well, so.
Yeah, I would say that this is a sci-fi action entertainment film with elements of political horror in it. Mm-hmm. Because for a lot of people, this is scary shit. You know what I mean? Because like everybody always talked about they or them or the, you know. So when they say
people,
when they say they, it's like, you know, it's like one step away from being schizophrenic to a lot of people. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I'm not saying that's how it really is. I'm saying that's how people think of it. It's like, oh, it could be right, but it could be wrong. Like, are the crazy people talking to people or are they not?
Right.
So it was like always up in the air. And so ultimately, I feel like this is a little bit more about capitalism.
It really is.
And just because of everything that, you know, in the movie that points to it, like he puts on these shades and literally every poster, every book that you're reading, the money that you buy the book that's printed on, it says something else.
Money is God. This is your God.
Yeah, that dude, like, that's such a fucking on the nose thing.
Right.
But it's a great ride, you know, like they don't try to get too heady with it. They just say, guy discovers sunglasses, world unravels, tries to stop the system.
Yeah, that's it.
And that's pretty much it. And the guy that John Carpenter picked was Roddy Piper, who is actually pretty fucking good in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
Like, compared to Frogtown, holy shit, it's night and day.
He has his shirt off in this movie, too.
Yeah, dude. He a lot of people thought that was, like, not him. Anyway, I actually like Roddy Piper, so I've been a fan of him, even though I don't know everything about him. But when I was a kid, he was a big star, and it was great to see him in this movie when I grew up. Mm-hmm. So I've always remembered this movie for that. They were gonna have, you know, a different person in the role.
Yeah.
But they decided not to because John Carpenter was using him too much. Mm-hmm. And do you know who that was? The Thing. He was in The Thing. Kurt Russell. Thank you.
Oh, yeah, Kurt Russell. Duh.
I couldn't find it in my notes, so I was like scrambling there. I was like hoping you would know. But yeah, no, Kurt Russell.
Russell, okay.
He'd been in so many of John Carpenter's films. He was like, everybody was kind of making fun of him.
Oh, yeah, and he was just in Big Little China. What's it called?
One more, and they would have thought it was like, you know, fucking Rob Zombie's, like John Carpenter's wife or something. You know what I mean? Kurt Russell and him are getting married. Sherry Moon, too. Well, he would be the first Sherry Moon, right? Kurt Russell. So she's Sherry Moon, too. Anyway, you get what I'm saying.
I get what you're saying.
But yeah, I love the practical effects in this movie.
Oh, yeah.
I love the ideas that they threw into this with the, like, watches and stuff like that. They have some, like, pretty strong sci-fi elements. I also...
Right, in the black and white.
Right.
You know?
When he puts on the glasses, everything is in black and white to make sure that you signify and identify with the fact that there is something different. I mean, other than what else you see in the glasses, if you've never seen this movie, I don't want to spoil it for you, but let's just say he sees a lot of crazy shit. Including aliens, which are pretty fucking disgusting. Pizza-faced, cheese-faced.
Motherfuckers.
Real fucking ugly. But I really love the way that the aliens looked too. They used a lot of puppetry and like practical effects for that, just because it kind of makes them feel like, I know that if they were to make a remake of this movie, they would just use CGI.
Right.
I don't think they should, because I think the fact that they use like puppetry a little bit kind of makes it feel like they're not like real.
Right.
And that's even a little more upsetting and unrealistic, you know, that vibe is just unsettling. And you see their mouths moving and it doesn't feel right. You know, it feels like an episode of Twilight Zone that has been turned into an action film a little bit, but it's really cool. And I really like it. And I love the underlying message in the movie about the sort of like classist, elitist, like ruling the planet and the world and like how we pretty much are. You know, it's kind of using the old Cold War thing where they were programming people like by making you not, you know, see everything or whatever.
Right.
So even Videodrome kind of touches upon subliminal messages and stuff like that. And this kind of has that in there. And this is like sort of the end of the 80s. So it makes sense that like Videodrome and this were kind of talking about those kind of things because that's what was on the news, right? Really. Like, guys,
that's when the turning point happened in the 80s.
Television rots your brain. There was like subliminal messages. It
was marketing too. It was product placement.
That too. Yeah, we were learning. Like the public was learning about this stuff, so they're like, "Oh, we can manipulate people." So they were really scared of that kind of thing. So, but also like they show a side of the homelessness in this movie that is really you don't see. In a lot of
the nicest.
Yeah, like a lot of movies don't do it the right way.
Right.
This movie kind of does, and it actually stars real homeless people, by the way. So, like, they got paid, they got fed, they got everything in this movie. So, but yeah, I really like it too. It's a solid 8 out of 10 for me as well. Like it would go up higher if it weren't for other movies that I like a little bit more than this. But yeah, I think an 8 out of 10 is
good.
It was a good watch this time. I don't know if it's going to be that way. It's not like one I would watch every year necessarily, but I really enjoyed this time.
Do you think this movie can be remade? Since it is old. It's an older movie.
If they did, they would have to have like a wrestler play the lead role again.
Do you think The Rock? No, I'm just kidding.
No, I don't want The Rock.
I'm just kidding.
No.
He's too funny. I think Jordan Peele could make this movie.
You think?
I do.
No, because you don't want that, because there's some trivia on this that I'm going to tell you.
Oh, no.
Where people, the worst kind of people in the fucking world, turned this movie into something it was never about.
Oh, no.
And John Carpenter had to come out in 2017 to say, shut the fuck up. That's slander, and I'll fucking sue you.
Oh, my God. Oh, God. Oh, okay, let's get to the trivia.
Yeah.
I need you to spill this tea.
Yeah, but man, did this look amazing on 4K.
It looked really good on 4K.
It really did, because, like, I don't know. You see how the black and white doesn't look bad in 4K? Do you notice that?
No, but I did see some people complaining about the black and white not looking good on the 4K, which I didn't understand, because it looked fine to me.
Well, they probably used a different process than black and white film.
Right.
They probably just did
dyed
something
it or something.
Yeah, they probably just removed all the saturation from the screen.
Yeah, but I thought it looked good. I like the contrast they had between the black and white and it was like almost a different filter on it too.
I don't know, but it didn't look bad to me, so I don't know. But I'm not a fucking Blu-ray specialist or 4K specialist.
Yeah, I just have eyes. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I just know what I think is okay or not. But I've never said that I was. Just to be clear, guys. But yeah, so we're gonna get into the trivia and some of our favorite scenes and wrap this puppy up for you guys. So if you want to check this movie out for yourself, like I said, you can rent it for $3.99 on like Apple TV, or you can purchase it on 4K or Blu-ray from Scream Factory, right?
Right, I think so.
Yeah, we got the 4K Steelbook, but they still have the old Blu-ray and 4K copies. Yeah. Good.
Motherfucker.
All right. Anyway, so if you don't want anything spoiled, here is your warning.
This is a spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. Die.
All right, guys. So some of the trivia on this one. First of all, the movie in France was titled Invasion Los Angeles.
Oh, like Escape from LA?
Not that this movie can really be spoiled, because the most interesting parts are already spoiled.
Oh, yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, if you would have seen a trailer of this movie, you would have been like, yeah, I want to see that.
Right.
Because of what's in the movie. Surprisingly, I think that this movie was shorter. It was short but sweet. Do you know what I mean?
You couldn't you say, like, in the beginning they kind of dragged it out?
A little bit, but I think that was all necessary, like, building the characters and stuff. Honestly, it didn't feel like it told the story. You see, like, the cops beating up people. This is pre-Rodney King, by the way.
Right.
John Carpenter was doing this, so...
Well, because he knew. He knew what was going on.
It's crazy, because I listened to the commentary, which was done in 2001, and he was sitting down with Roddy Piper, and they were talking about all the scenes and stuff like that. And Rowdy was saying, this movie, first of all, he was very thankful for John Carpenter, because John Carpenter said, I'm going to help you through this whole thing, man. Roddy Piper had left wrestling for this.
Oh.
At this time, he was leaving wrestling because he hated McMahon. Because we've heard so many terrible stories about McMahon.
Is that guy still around?
Yes.
I don't even know. I don't follow wrestling.
Yes,
my God, really? It's been like
I don't want to get into
years.
every. Yeah, but I want to get into every detail of everything like that.
Oh, yeah, because we wouldn't know.
Rowdy was saying it long before everybody else was saying it. Before Hulk Hogan and all these other people that came out in 2000.
Just like 50 Cent said about P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roddy was saying it from the beginning. He seems like a really good guy. Him and Carpenter sat down. He was explaining, oh man, just you took so much time with me to like help me through these scenes, and I credit you for my best acting I've ever done in my entire life.
Oh, that's nice.
And he was like, oh, that's sweet of you,
Oh, on the commentary?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So they were talking about it, and you could tell they have a lot in common because both of them don't tolerate a bunch of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? They're fucking straight shooters. They'll give you John Carpenter would say, I'll give you the shirt off on my back, but if you tell me that I need to, fuck you. You know what I mean? So, and I think Roddy and him get along in that sort of nook.
Right.
They're both really super good people, but they're, I don't know. I mean, I can't say, I don't speak for these people. I haven't lived their lives or anything, but that's what it seems like. So John Carpenter also said, that's what I was going to say is, that he knew that Roddy was having some moments in this film or something like that because Roddy had a very troubled childhood when he was younger. And there was some scenes, 2 scenes in particular in this movie, because he was homeless as well, Roddy said, that it really upset him. And it was when he yells to Frank while the camp's being torn apart, like the whole homeless encampment.
Yeah, that was a horrible scene.
And he's like, Frank! And then Frank turns his back and walks away. He said that moment right there is when something happened when he yelled somebody's name, I guess. He didn't say why. John was like, you've had not that we haven't all had a little problems here and there, but, you've had a pretty heavy past or whatever. And he didn't kind of skip over it, you know what I mean?
Oh.
So, but there was another scene where he like helps that kid up.
Right.
You know what I'm talking
about?
about?
Yeah, they go through the building.
After the cops are like beating the crap out of the guys with the.
Right.
And he goes into the building and everything. He's like holding on to him. He said that was like his second nature. That he didn't know that he was doing that. He was just being protective of that kid because of his trauma and his past. So, yeah. And he said not only that, this was when he left wrestling. He literally didn't even have time to take a break. And he was wrestling like over 300 every single day for 300 days a year.
Oh, he was wrestling.
Sorry, he was wrestling every single day, getting beat up and so he had no time to decompress. He went right into this.
Right, he just knew.
And he was going through a lot mentally.
Oh, wow. That's crazy.
So it's just wild. And I'm not saying that Rowdy's the greatest actor that ever lived, but he's not bad in this movie.
In this, he's not that bad.
And John really, I'm pretty sure John really had, he understood, but they're all kind of actors in a way. They're just not the best.
Well, I mean, there's not the dialogue. There's not really like a need for some of the dialogue too. It seemed kind of filler. Them just trying to like patch the story along.
No, they were kind of explaining how things were at the time. John Carpenter said that this was a movie that was like a vehicle to take on Reaganomics. Because at the time, it was Reagan who was president when they did this.
Oh, okay.
However, over the years, there have been some neo-Nazis who taken the movie out of context and used it to co-opt their own message.
So weird.
White supremacists and neo-Nazis who have said this, they were spreading rumors that it's an allegory for Jewish people controlling the world.
Oh.
Yeah, because of course they would say some stupid, dumb shit like that.
They gotta hang on to something,
Anyway, this forced Carpenter to respond on Twitter in 2017 by stating, quote, "They Live is about yuppies and unrestrained capitalism. It has nothing to do with Jewish control of the world, which is slander and a lie."
That's right, bitch.
So he's like,
That's
fuck
right,
you.
Bitch.
Shut the fuck up. What the fuck are you doing to my movie? I'm sure he would have been otherwise if they would have said anything. Oh, so I think it's about aliens doing da-da-da-da. He'd been like, yeah, whatever. But when they said that, he was like,
Right.
So are you guys now not fans of John Carpenter? Because he's woke?
Do you?
Do you know what I mean? So like everybody that gets mad at
Jordan Peele?
Jordan Peele for being political or whatever, you know what I mean? Or having a message in his movies.
Whatever.
I'm just making the comparison because that is relevant. This is very on the nose, fucking in your face, like stuff it down your throat kind of fucking dialogue.
Right.
Come on. You know what I mean? I didn't hear anybody complaining about this fucking movie back in the day. Did you?
Right.
I'm just making a point here, you know? Like, I'm not hating on the people that didn't like Jordan Peele movies. That's fine. But when you get out of control and say, it's like, it's never been in movies before. Like, okay, well, what about this one? This was years before.
Oh, you're talking about politics in movies.
Politics, racial elements, all of that stuff. You know what I mean? Like, the fucking nuclear family is very racially charged.
Right.
You know what I mean? So... one of the Alien TV broadcasts refers to the director by name in the movie. Did you see it was on the TV?
Yes.
When the signal drops out, and they're like, filmmakers like George A. Romero and John Carpenter have to show some restraint. You know, they're simply just showing too much. You know what I mean?
Oh, that was like the end of the movie.
Right, yeah. But I just think it's funny that they kind of did that in there.
Yeah, I did too. It was a good wrap up towards the end too.
Right.
For them to do that. Also,
speaking of Vince McMahon, I forgot to mention this. He didn't want Roddy Piper to do the film, so go figure.
Right.
And John Carpenter said, yeah, I figured. McMahon told Piper that he would find him a different film at the same pay rate within 4 weeks, but Piper passed and ended up splitting with WWF. And Carpenter asked why, and Piper stated that plainly that McMahon is a control freak. He's like, when I came back to wrestling, I was twice as important as when I left. He says the credits and credits Carpenter and the success of the film. He said the politics of that business is something I don't get, says Carpenter.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. And it just gets so much worse because, like, everything that has been divulged over the course of...
Right, years.
Yeah. What would you say is, like, the favorite spot in the movie? And, like, what,
well, of course.
or what are some... Or let's put it this way. First of all, favorite's one, and then one that's not a very popular one that you realize that you really kind of connected with the film.
That one, that's not
the
that
one that
popular.
connected that's not popular. Okay.
Yeah. That one, it was in the beginning, and he didn't know what was going on yet at all. He was at the camp. So he was walking around the camp, and he notices people are watching TV. And there's a commercial on for press-on nails, and which was a really funny commercial, and it reminded me of commercials from the 80s. But anyway, so the signal drops, and it gets interrupted with an anxious, like, older guy who's on the screen, and he's talking about...
They're going to, yeah. They're out there. They're watching us. They've been here the whole time.
He said there was a group of scientists that discovered something putting people in a trance, depriving them of critical thinking. And he was also talking about how they live in a AI created world. Wow. And he said our artificial intelligence created world. And I thought that was fun.
Boy, are we on the precipice of that.
Yeah. And then
Precipice.
I also liked when that was happening. He looked over and he saw the priest, the street preacher. He was mouthing the exact same words from the TV, and you're like, what the fuck is going on?
That's a really great scene.
Yeah, it is a great scene, and they didn't really explain it or anything, if it was crazy or if there was like transmissions. But whenever the transmission went through, people would get headaches, and then they would get irritated with and wouldn't hear like the message he was saying, because they were getting headaches and their eyes hurt and stuff. Yeah. So, but yeah, I like that scene.
You know, it's funny too. Buck Flower was like at that scene sitting on the couch watching that, and he was like, yeah, you're hurting my brain.
Right.
Shut up. Nobody cares. That's like foreshadowing his part in the future, where he is one of the brown coats, the people that are like siding with the bad guys, the bad aliens.
Right.
Who
they took the blue pill.
Yeah, basically. Yeah. I mean, that's essentially that.
Pill.
Same thing is like, they've been propagandized.
Yeah, exactly.
They've been bought, so to speak. They work for the bad guy, like in the World War II, and like that stuff, as well as Matrix, and it's been used in many other things.
A bunch of stuff.
The whole Cold War thing again is brought back in that too, because we were worried that there would be a secret agent that somebody was just willing to change at any moment, and those are those people. Mm-hmm. So I think in a way there's a lot of dialogue going on there,
right?
But it's so scary that it echoes today.
Well, it's because it's always been going on.
Yeah.
It takes different forms. You're never going to get rid of it when you live in a society like we do.
Right, but now they're like actively, openly using that kind of propaganda.
Well, yeah.
Without any fucking qualms. We don't even need to hide it. You don't need glasses anymore. They'll tell it to your face, and there's going to be a percentage of people
who believe it.
No matter what you say against it or prove them facts. It's crazy.
It's because we're just simple-minded people.
It's so wild to me. For years when I was a kid and I learned about history and World War II and all that stuff, I never understood how one man could do all of that.
Right.
And it wasn't just one man. It was a whole group of people doing, everything. To like cover every angle and every corner that someone might critically think.
Yep.
That's why they wanted to get the cartoons. That's why they wanted to get everything. You know what I mean?
People are simple. People just need simple.
But the funny thing is, if you were to ask those people, they would be saying that the other side does it too. And that they're doing it to us already. So it's even more wild. But I'm just trying to compare it to today's thing. I know you get nervous about talking about politics.
Oh, God.
I said it in the beginning of this fucking podcast. So if you guys are fucking upset, too fucking bad. Like, sorry, I'm not going to fucking dance around the subject because this is in the movie. It's contextual. It makes sense. And I'd be a shitty reviewer if I didn't fucking bring it up. So fuck you. Right?
Right.
Okay. Just making sure we're on the same page
We're on the same page.
But yeah, I think it's interesting. And I think that's what he was trying to say. He was seeing the early inklings of this then, as were many other people.
Right. Well, it's been every generation, though, too.
It's just gotten progressively worse.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the signs were always there. We just didn't recognize the signs.
Well, I'm sure some people did recognize the signs.
Yeah.
There's always people who recognize the signs.
And it opened up their eyes.
And shut up. Shut
Never
the fuck
gonna build
up.
you up.
And that's, again, if nobody believes you, then what the fuck? Like, put on these goddamn glasses. No. Put on the glasses. Okay, let's fist fight, okay?
This podcast, you see how we have two panes, two of us in the video? This is the truth. You're seeing the truth through the lenses. One's red, one's blue. It's almost like 3D.
I'm blue.
No, you're not. You're red much. Because of the wall.
Oh, God damn it.
She couldn't get her light to work.
Oh, so. I don't want to know the truth. I'm fine. The truth seems like too much work.
Obviously, one of my favorite parts in the movie is when he goes. There's two moments in the film where it's just a string of events that happen.
Yeah.
And both of them are really like, it's like when you're on a roller coaster and there's those two big dips where it's like fun and you're like, woo! And it does the second one and you're like, woo! The first one is when the campmate gets taken over. The next morning he goes in, gets the glasses, walks down to the street, sees all the crazy.
What's going on.
Yeah, but my favorite is probably when he's in the grocery store and he's like, I wrote it down here just so that I could say it again because I think it's really funny.
Don't believe this bitch.
Yeah. He's in the grocery store wearing the glasses. He's like, bumps into this lady who like slammed into his shoulder and he's like, you know what you look like? You look like your face fell in cheese dip back in 1957. And then he points to the other woman next to him on the left and he's like, you're okay. This one? Real fucking ugly. And she's like, oh.
She gets on her watch.
Yeah.
I got another one.
She's like, we got one that can see. But he's like, see, I take these glasses off. She looks like a regular person, doesn't she? Put them back on, formaldehyde face. That's what.
That's funny.
He's like, he falls over some stuff, and then this is when the turning point happens. Where he's like, reality sets in that he's not in a safe space to be yelling these kind of fucking things out loud. He falls over. I actually like the fall. They discussed that maybe the fall might not have worked when they were shooting it, but he really I like it with the fall because it's like, oh, reality snaps into him and he's like, he sees everybody walking down the aisles talking on their watches. And then he starts walking down the street. The cops push him into an alleyway and he beats the fuck out of them and shoots them. And they're like, hey, let's talk about it. Maybe we can make this even profitable for us. And he was like, you look real fucking ugly, man. He's like, you look the same to us, but let's just talk. We're in a quiet place and da-da-da-da-da. And then he grabs the shotgun out of the fucking police thing, goes into a fucking bank and doesn't realize it somehow.
Yeah.
And then he like looks around and he's like, oh shit, I'm in a bank. It's like, and then he's like, this is a line that he said, he made up, by the way. Because apparently Roddy had a book of things that he could use.
Oh, to say.
And
one-liners.
This is one-liners. Now, he didn't do it because of the movie. These were wrestling lines.
Oh.
So he used this line from his book of wrestling lines that he had written himself. Mm-hmm. And he wrote this and put it in the movie, and fucking John Carpenter fucking loved it, which is the famous line, I came here to kick ass and chew bubble gum, and I'm all out of bubble gum, which I think, if I'm not mistaken, was in the Army of Darkness.
Yes, I was just going to say that because I'm like, didn't Bruce Campbell say this? Like, I always get confused.
Yeah, what did he say? He said...
Yeah, I haven't seen that in a long time, though, so I don't remember, but I'm
pretty sure it's Army of Darkness, though, right? Like...
Yeah, because that was the funny one.
Oh, you ain't got shit but Jack and Jack left town.
Right. It's similar.
He may have been inspired by fucking Roddy Piper.
Probably.
So that's something to think about, folks. That's how influential Roddy Piper was. Mm-hmm. Because that's very similar, right?
It's an influential movie.
It is. It probably is more influential than people give it credit.
Well, it's a cult classic now.
Right. But yeah, that's probably one of my favorite things in the movie. Obviously, it's cool to see all the sci-fi stuff and how they take down the building. One of my weirdest moments is that Holly, the weird-eyed lady, just shows up to their fucking...
Oh, yeah, at their meeting.
And then all of a sudden...
no questions. Like...
Yeah, and then she shoots fucking Frank in the head, which is like, Jesus.
Yeah, like, bam, he's gone.
Dude, he has a family, you dumb bitch.
Yeah. Did you notice that Rodney had his wedding ring on the whole time?
Mm-hmm. He wouldn't take it off.
Yeah.
For the movie.
I thought that was nice.
He said he wouldn't take it off for his wife in the movie.
Oh, that's so nice. That's so sweet.
Yeah, he kind of talks about a few things in there. Because I guess they split up after.
Oh, after this movie?
Yeah, so...
Oh, well, he's trying to save.
Yeah.
It was a Hail Mary.
Yeah, so it's kind of wild. But, being in the movies and stuff like that, and he was in Frogtown. He talked about it in Hell Comes to Frogtown as well. Because I remember us talking about something about his marriage or something. Marriage
during that time.
What do you guys think? I mean, is this a movie that you think is grown better with over time? Or did it take you a while to get used to? For me, I've always kind of liked it. It's just kind of like bounced around whether I was in the mood for it at that moment or not.
Right.
It's not heavy like Videodrome is, because that's like a really heavy message and a very slow-paced movie that has a similar sort of, brainwashy kind of thing going on. Mm-hmm. Subliminal messages and shit like that. But this one is a little bit more on the nose and enjoyable. Probably an easier dose to take, kind of like how The Matrix was for people to see back in the day.
Which was 10 years after this.
Yeah, it turned Christians like into theologists of a different nature almost. Mm-hmm. They're like, oh God, what if we're in a fucking... And now they actually think they're in a fucking Matrix.
They're in God's Matrix.
Yeah, so they're God's Matrix.
They're in the God Matrix.
If we're living in a simulated world, then all art is AI artwork.
Silly.
Anyway, guys, I love you. We really appreciate you guys coming by and watching this movie with us. It was fun to watch again. Gotta love John Carpenter. He's one of the best directors out there. One of the best American directors for sure.
Right.
Obviously, we got a lot more coming along that are doing newer things, and it would be great to see John Carpenter do a new movie, but
he's old.
Do you think he could do one? Because the last two he did were kind of
He's too old.
I don't think he is.
Let him do what he wants.
I've seen some movies that were done by some of the older directors that I liked that had earlier careers that have kind of pulled out some pretty cool shit. But
okay.
I don't know. I'm glad to see that not only did he have a directorial career, but he also had a music career twice, or continued music career.
Yeah, he's still doing it.
He's playing fucking shows in like his 80s. Like, Jesus Christ, that's amazing. I love that. I went to see his show with fucking Perturbator.
Right.
Or Perturbator, excuse me.
Perturbator.
Perturbator. I used to say Perturbator. But yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for coming by. Next week, we're going to be doing another movie for my birthday.
For your birthday.
And it is Lady Terminator.
Yay.
Which is a so bad it's good film that I bought from Mondo Macabra. If you like terrible acting, crazy shit on the screen, you're going to want to see this movie. I don't know where you can find it. You might be able to find it on YouTube to watch, so keep your eye out. Look for that. It's called Lady Terminator. It is exactly what it sounds like. Okay, so it's I'll read you the back real quick, and then we'll get out of here. Get ready for a wild ride. A sexually rapacious Asian goodness known as the Queen of the South Sea possesses the body of a young female skin diver armed with an AK-47 and an endless supply of bullets. Okay, so it isn't a robot. This murderous Lady Terminator takes it to the streets on a revenge-filled rampage. It's like Kill Bill with oodles of sex. Oh, Christina will love that.
Great. I'm so excited.
And she just can't hide it, folks. I want to know. Okay, sorry, Chris. But anyway, thank you guys so much for coming by today. And, tune in next week for a pretty interesting episode. And as always,
long live the void.